Yo! Welcome into episode 3 of Milk Run. ASA65 out here in Wrangell. We'll be heading up to Petersburg. Short flight, but pretty elaborate approach. You can see the weather. Got marginal VFR conditions here in Wrangell. And we'll see how it goes. Top up everything.
Cockpit pre-flight.
Do some checks as well. We're looking at our total fuel. 4,500.
Completed. Voice recorder. Tasted. Oil coolers and cow flaps. Auto in position. Fuel and fluids. Checked.
4,800.
Set.
There you go.
Manifold and duct pressure. Checked.
We got 46 passengers.
Radios.
Pretty
Checked.
light. No cargo today. Well, we got some milk on there. Wouldn't be right. Let's put 1,000 pounds of cargo on there at least. We do need a good climb rate out today. I think we have some terrain between us and
Door warning lights.
Zarut, which is the transition for the LDA approach into runway 23 into Petersburg, which is a ways out. This flight is really like 26 miles, but it's going to be more like 70 with everything. We'll see how vectors go with Beyond ATC as well, which we'll be using for the, well, I think it's the third consecutive time, so let's see how that does as well.
Before start checks complete. Start engines. 3, 6, 9, 12.
Hit an initialize. Hope you all are having a great week. Main Freight Group has some pretty long flights coming up this weekend. You can always join us by hitting up the Patreon and joining our Discord. You get a lot more information like flight plans and all that good stuff. Alright, over to 4.
3, 6, 9, 12.
I think we want to be on 18 flat for center, and I'll put in the LDA frequency. Oh, I should have gone up as well here in just a sec. I don't know let's see how the sim sound is. Pretty low. Bring a little more sound. Alright.
Three, 6, 9, 12.
And I need to quickly go to my 4-engine configuration.
Alaska 6A Sierra, fly present heading, descend and maintain 1 tree, 13,000. Altimeter tree 062, Ketchikan Airport landing runway 11.
Fly present heading, descend and maintain 1 tree 13,000, altimeter tree 062, Ketchikan Airport landing runway 11, Alaska 6 of Sierra.
Oh, I gotta catch a plane coming in. I don't think we'll be around here to see it, but maybe. See how things go here. And we should push a plane out. We could honestly... might just... You know what? I'm just gonna fly this slant. So... because we're going direct to Level Island. And then we're going direct outbound from there to Zarut, and I know what radial that's on. So... I don't think I even need... maybe keep the 530 in there, just for whatever. But I'm sure we're going to be a Vector's LDA, is what they're going to put us on. If it's an RNAV, then, yeah, I'll leave the 530 in case Control wants me to fly the RNAV. And I can just put that in pretty quick, hopefully. Okay, so Level Island is 116.5. Don't know if we're going to get that on the ground. I don't think we have it on the ground. So, should be inbound on the 250, so I will just pre-tune a little bit. And all of our engines are good. After start checks, and we'll be on our way here shortly.
Off and off. Battery switch. Emergency lights. Armed. Ground power. Removed. After start checks complete.
Center Alaska 65 IFR to Petersburg.
Alaska 65, Anchorage Center, cleared to Petersburg. James A. Johnson, radar vectors Level Island, then as filed. Maintain 4,000. Expect 8,000 feet, 10 minutes after departure. Departure with me. Squawk tree, 5-6 tree.
Alaska 65 clear to Petersburg, runway 28, radar vectors Level Island, climb maintain 4,000, expect 8,000, departure with you, squawk 3563.
Alaska 65, read back correct. Push or start at pilot's discretion. Hold for release. Report holding short runway 28.
Yeah, we'll call back holding short runway 28. Holding for release, Alaska 65. That all looks good. Go for...
Boost pumps.
And we got a taxi back.
Fuel selector and crossfeed. Main tanks and crossfeed off. Autopilot and carbide. Off and cold. Hydraulic system. Down, forward, pressure and quantity checked. Okay. Flaps 20. Flaps set 20. Windows and turbine. and cowl flaps. Bridge unlocked. Set. Transponder. On.
Rain coming down. It's calmed down a little bit
Landing lights.
since we've been sitting here.
Extended and on. Before takeoff checks complete.
Get autopilot set pretty quick after takeoff. And a bit of soup
Alaska
here.
6A Sierra, contact Anchorage Center 118.5.
Contact Anchorage Center 118.5, Alaska 6 Sierra.
Center Alaska 65, shorter runway 28 for departure.
Alaska 65, released for departure. Clearance void, if not off by 1815 Zulu. If not off by 1815 Zulu, contact. No later than 1825 Zulu. Time now 1757 Zulu. Frequency change approved.
Frequency change approved, Alaska 65. Alright, off we go. Alaska 65 climbing 1,000 feet.
Alaska 65, Anchorage Center, radar contact. Climb, maintain 8,000 feet. Altimeter tree 061.
I maintain 8,000, copy the altimeter, Alaska 65.
Alaska 65, Anchorage Center, expect radar vectors, runway 23.
Expect radar vectors runway 23, Alaska 65. That's how close it is. So we'll see. Instant vectors. Kind of what I figured might happen. Not gonna need a ton of RP. And we should be closing the owl flaps as well. And I forgot to turn off auto feather, so. Oh man, that was kind of close. They even noticed that. Whoops. It did, in its defense, Beyond ATC popped up with a message today saying there's unavoidable terrain on your route, which I assume meant at 8,000 feet, which I don't really see any on the map. Highest thing I can see is 5,000. There's 7,300 in this little space that I'm in, but that goes quite a bit north on the coast, and the bulk of that is in Vancouver and Edmonton Center, so not sure what that's all about, but we should be safe on this flight at 5,000. But going up through 4. And I have never been given a vector to Level Island, so it's possible that I'm just going to get vectored to the airport, which is very close right now. Basically right off in front of us, slightly east of where we're pointing right now. And about 15 miles. What I can do is I can bring in the LDA frequency, just because I don't think I'm going to use Level Island. So LEA frequency is 110.5. Which we can get as well. And we want to be inbound on the 164. You would think it's to the right of us, but it's actually to the left because we're behind it. Right, we're south of it right now, flying north. So once we get to the other side, it will be on the right, the correct side of the DDI. Pull back up as well. Very nice. I think from here is to Sitka, which is also short. I'll probably do in the DC6. And then from Sitka to Juneau, I might do something. I might do like the F-28 or something interesting. Like maybe an older jet or something. I'm kind of interested now in mixing up the planes for this tour. So it wouldn't be super long for the DC6 either, but might be more than an hour total stream time, so we'll have a look. And I'm not promising that will be next week. but the next episode of this for sure. Alright, so we'll roll it back down. At our current speed, we are 4 minutes away. But I anticipate another 15 in vectors and approach, so. Huge shout out to the 5 new subs on the channel. Thanks for the support. You can support us more by joining the Patreon. And we got a host of new plane liveries that are going to start hitting the Patreon relatively soon. So do check it out and help support us there. Been looking for a good time to do some ATC, and I think it's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of me finding the right time to get some traffic. It tends to have to be a weekend on IVAO because a lot of the pilots are on European time, so they fly in the US around midday. And of course, here on the West Coast, it's hard to kind of match that schedule. So we'll find some overlap one of these weekends and get some ATC. So you can see the flip side of the coin instead of flying under control. I don't know if, I think they're trying to get me to Zarut, is my guess. Which is the IAF for LDA runway 23, which in terms of if this were really bad weather, which it doesn't appear to be in Petersburg, this would be a very difficult approach because it's offset by 60 degrees. It's a 60-degree blind final turn in front of terrain, but luckily tonight you'll get a chance to see the surroundings and understand what I mean. And LDA is a localized directional aid, so it will get us down to minimums in a general direction of the field, but it's not going to put us on the same heading as the runway. They're not super used with RNAV GPS these days, but in a pinch, it's always nice to have a localizer and know that you're generally headed in the right direction at the right altitude, as long as you can keep up with the vertical profile. I actually saw the other day, I was flying with a couple of guys in the Discord, and I saw a back course localizer approach, which I haven't seen in a long time. Back in the Pilot Edge era, they have one in their kind of pilot training stuff, and it was in Nome, Alaska. That's where you're basically using the localizer on the other side, the entirely opposite heading. And you have to tell your whatever your flight computer is to do the back course. And there's no perfect vertical guidance because it's on the wrong side of the runway.
Turn right, heading 295. Descend and maintain 6,000 feet. Altimeter tree 060. Petersburg James A. Johnson Airport landing runway 23.
For Alaska 65, turn right 295, descend and maintain 6,000, altimeter 3060, and Petersburg landing runway 23, altimeter 3060, Alaska 65.
Alaska 65, altimeter tree 060. Expect the visual approach runway 23.
Altimeter copied, we'll expect the visual approach runway 23, Alaska 65.
Alaska 65, turn right, heading tree 00. Vectors for the approach. Expect further clearance in about 4-8 miles.
Turn right heading 300, Alaska 65. Also be descending, oops. Oh, I'm not able to descend right now. Descend this way then. Could be because the trim wheel is way out of whack. Visual approach, so we'll just fly this bird manually. Petersburg is back in there.
ASA65, turn right, heading 080, descend and maintain 4,300. Expect further clearance in about 4 tree miles.
Right heading 080, descend and maintain 4,300, Alaska 65.
Alaska 65, turn right, heading 085.
I'm heading 085, Alaska 65. Expecting a bigger bank angle. We don't really have it, especially when I'm flying blind at the moment. No LDA approach after all. Well, I oversteered here. Oops. shot there. Real close to this terrain, so I'm gonna follow the faint edge of that coastline that I can see and just make sure that I'm on the outside of all this. And then we'll turn right to final up here. Well, a 60-degree offset from final anyway. I left the LDA up so y'all can see when we start to kind of intercept that and fly toward the airport. on, need another vector. East, well, the west coast line of Alaska here. Be some terrain kind of out in front of me and off to my left. So I don't know if they have me in some sort of base turn, as if they're gonna. But we just flew straight through. I don't know if you were tracking the CDA, but we just flew straight
Alaska
through the
65,
LDA.
turn left, heading 070.
Left heading 070, Alaska 65. Left, interesting. Look very promising out in front of us. We gotta turn right real soon. Center Alaska 65 request vector for terrain.
Alaska 65, request not understood. Alaska 65, turn right, heading 160, descend and maintain 1000.
Right 160 down to 1000, Alaska 65. That's all I wanted. Get out of this terrain. Sketching me out. Too many clouds. .60.
Alaska 65, turn right, heading 225.
Right heading 225, Alaska 65.
Alaska 65, airport is at your 2 o'clock 11 miles. Report the field in sight.
Looking for field, Alaska 65. Kind of off in front of us. We're a bit offset at the moment, so I'm gonna shoot that gap. Is the idea? Yeah, these are once again, the vectors out here for terrain make it real tough. And I thought it was going to be clearer than this. Actually just downgraded a marginal VFR and you can see why. So it's going to be a bit of a challenge. But the good news is after this gap, the only thing left in front of us is water. So worst thing that can happen is we go for a swim outside of Petersburg. But no more terrain between us and the airport. So this channel is maybe 7 miles across. So we should be about that from the field. Could really use some lights right about now. This airport's about to get socked in, is what's happening. This is classic Alaska. All of our cloud is low.
Alaska 65, I'm going to bring you around for another try. Fly runway heading, maintain 7,200.
Alaska 65, negative, field in sight. Just caught it right there. We're high, but be able to get her under control pretty quick. Alaska 65 is on final, field in sight.
Alaska 65 did not copy.
Whoa, okay. Oh man, we descended too much. Oh, this is crazy. Alaska 65 requests landing clearance, field in sight.
Alaska 65, request not understood.
Alright, well, going in anyway. Can't argue with them right now. It's like a minus 64 after that wild approach. Jeez. Way off center, but I'll take it. So we get into a little trouble again here in Beyond ATC. It's not so much their fault. They did the right thing. They told me what I should have done. So I'm not going to blame them for that. But vectoring out of the terrain there was a little too close for comfort. We'll go ahead and, I guess, pop this frequency over. We were really close to stalling out in the water there. I got really sketchy. appropriate thing to do would have been to follow their instruction, obviously, and then probably ask for the LEA approach. But that would have been another 20 minutes. So, oh, thanks. We live another day, barely. See what the next episode brings us out here in Alaska as we head over to Sitka, which is always fun. Thanks a lot for joining on this episode, and hope you have a great weekend. I may be taking a week or two off, just because I got some stuff going on, but we'll check back in here sometime in the near future. Is this a taxiway? I think it says do not enter. See the Northern Sky Studios with the little smoke effects. It's they're one of the few scenery houses that can design scenery that with moving things that doesn't make my sim stutter uncontrollably. So really appreciate that about them. Smoke and steam and stuff like that in most of my sceneries just makes the frame rate go cut in half, so thanks again so much, and until episode 4 or the next thing on the channel, don't forget to find us over on Patreon, support us, and I'll see you next time. Cheers. Sure.